Guys, we're in awesome shape because we were already on lesson 8. So please write at the top of your paper WG 10.8. That's WG 10.8, and that tells us Unit 10, Lesson 8. So after this, we only have Lesson 9 and a test. Great job getting through your comprehend. Okay, this one's going to be very quick, hopefully, as well. So we're going to look at the history of sub-Saharan Africa, and first we're going to start with the first people. So my first question to you is, in what ways did the first people leave information for us to what they did and stuff like that? In what ways did they leave us information? And you have two answers for number 1, cave paintings and archaeological evidence. Now, while you're getting ready to do that for number 1, let me also tell you number 2. Number 2 is, what did the paintings and the archaeological evidence tell us? It told us that they were hunters and farmers. More than that, they left us something else that told us about their cultures, and this would be the answer to number 3. So I'm going to highlight for you the different answers. So what did they leave that told us about their culture stories? So here in blue, we've got number 1, and that's cave paintings and archaeological evidence. Then here, and we'll make this green, we have hunters and we have farmers for number 2. And then this one right here, I can make that orange, is number 3. So we've got number 1, cave paintings and archaeological evidence tell us about the people. We've got number 2 here in green, hunters and farmers is what they were, and we know that because we saw their cave paintings and their archaeological evidence. And then number 3, we learned about their culture through stories. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, great job. I'm going to move up a little in case somebody's ready to write number 4. So here we have a lot more questions, but it's okay. We're not going to have a lot to do today. Number 5. The first civilization was what? And you can say Egyptian or you can say Egyptian civilization, but that's your answer. Number 4. And when did we see them? You can make this number 4. Number 5, 3000 BC. So the first great Egyptian civilization coming out of Africa was in 3000 BC, and they came out of northeast Africa along the Nile River. So now we've got 4, 5, 6, 7. So guys, this is wait, I think we just did too much there. This is a good question here. Number 4, what was the first civilization? Egyptian. Number 5, in what year? 3000 BC. Number 6, where did they settle? Northeast Africa. Number 7, where in Northeast Africa? Along the Nile. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So right now we're really learning about Northeast Africa and going along the Nile. Now these people, they got replaced. Who did they get replaced with? Well, let's take a look. 8, the Kushites. And after the Kushites came the Axums, or the Axum rulers. So you've got 8 the Kushites, 9 the Axum rulers. And where were the Axums located? They were located in Ethiopia. So these should be the same question. Axums in Ethiopia. Axums in Ethiopia. So when you guys write up your answers right, then I know that you're watching the video versus just turning it on and writing down answers. So, moving right along here, let's take a look now at Central Africa. In Central Africa, let's see, I'm sorry, I think I skipped something. We need to take a look at West Africa. In West Africa, we've got the Gong Empire and the Mali Empire and then the Songhai. So these are all the same question. So for your next question, let's see where we are here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This should be number 10. Next, we're going to look at West Africa. And who was in West Africa? Right, all three of... Okay, we just seem to have lost our where we're working, so let's try and get back to that here. We have a little glitch in our tape, which is good news because it's going to make things close quicker for you. So you wrote down those empires, and you wrote them down for number 11. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this a little bit. So let's come down here and take a look at Central Africa. Now, in Central Africa, we have the Kingdom of Congo. So how about you just write down, I'm going to change things around a little bit for you to make it a little easier. So let's just write down Kingdom of Congo. Oh man, I almost just lost our computer there. So Congo for number 12. Write down Congo for me for number 12. Okay, great. So now let's get ready for number 13. For number 13, we were going to talk about how many slaves, and so let's go ahead and let's do that. For number 13, write down Arabs, 10 million. Arabs, 10 million. And then for, let's come down here for the next one and write down Europe, 9 to 12 million. So we've got Arabs, 10 million. And then for our next question, number 14, we have Europe, 9 to 12 mil. So question number 13, Arabs, 10 mil. Question number 13, Arabs, 10 mil. Question number 14, Europeans, 9 to 12 mil. And then question number 15, who is it that sold African slaves? African people sold African slaves. So African rulers did. So African rulers, which I'm going to come up here and change colors for you because this one's a little long. African rulers is going to be number, let's see, 10 mil, number 15, African rulers. So we've got the Arabs with 10 million for number 13. We've got the Europeans with 9 to 12 million slaves for number 14. And we have who sold the slaves? African rulers did for number 15. So now we're going to move over here. I would like to change this up a little bit. In what year did slave trade stop? So number 16, just write 1807. And in what year did European culture take over? Write 1914. So number 16 is right up here. Number 16 is 1807. It's in blue. And number 17 is 1914. It's in blue. We're not going to do this. Let's just take that question out because I feel like that's, more questions than what we usually do. So we'll just turn it to pink. And all that's telling us is that in 1914, European culture took over. So I'm going to change my question number 17 to what year did European culture take over? And we know it's 1914. Okay, so here's our final question. When did they gain their independence? This is a big question. When did they become free states? Now, America did that in the 1800s. Did you know that the African countries did not become free states until 1979? I was born in 1969. I was 10 years old, people, when 48 independent countries were formed in Africa. I didn't know what was going on as a 10-year-old. My government didn't explain to me, hey, America's a free country. Good news, Africa's becoming a free country now too, or a bunch of free countries. No one told us that. I think one interesting difference between America and Africa is that all of our states united together and became the United States. The countries of Africa did not unite together and become the United Countries of Africa. So I wonder if that's maybe Africa still suffers so much and America does not suffer at all. Well, not compared to other countries. So I wonder if it really did save us that we all came together as one. That's kind of interesting to me. Anyway, you're done. Have a good day. That's it. Time to go. Final thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Your final question should have been 1979. So number 18 is 1979. And just to kind of revisit with you, if you give me a moment here, I will show you what your sheet should look like, because you should be in good shape. Okay, if you were a little unsure on your answers, let's go ahead and take a look at them. So number 1, cave paintings and archaeological evidence. 2, hunters and farmers. 3, stories. 4, Egyptian civilization starting in 3000 BC. 5, Northeast Africa. 6, Nile River. 7, Kushite rulers. 8, Axums in Ethiopia. 9, West Africa. 10, Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. Wow, I just made a mistake there. Okay, I guess we have spots there. I don't know why. 11, Congo. I guess it took our O off. Congo. 12, Arabs had about 10 million slaves. Number 13, Europeans had 9 to 12 million slaves. 14, African rulers. 15, 1807. 16 is 1914. And 17, your answer should be 1979 for when they became free countries. 1979. And not even all of them became free. That was another interesting fact for those that are still wanting or maybe paying attention. If not, send me the picture. But anyway, I felt like this was also really interesting. 2 things here. 48, there's how many states? And then here's 48 countries. So if we have as many countries there as we did states, if they all joined together, they could have been as big of a force as America. So maybe it's really good for us that they just became their own separate countries, because otherwise they could be as big as us. Look, I also felt like this was really interesting. Do you guys know what this is a picture of? This is the slave boat and how they had to sleep in it. So all these things, these lines are the slaves sleeping in the slave boat. They'd have to lay down there for days. If they didn't die, then they became a slave. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And laying right next to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was crazy. So if I shrink this picture again, all those little dots there are all slaves laying shoulder to shoulder in the ship. Can't even stand up. So that's crazy. Anyway, this is what your paper looks like. Take a picture of that paper and send it to me. Send me your paper, which looks like this. All right, talk to you guys later. Send me that picture right away. Bye.